Hello everybody. Today we're working on my 92 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Today I'm going to show you how to pull the stereo out of this car and reinstall it. The reason I'm doing this is because I have an auxiliary cable right here for my stereo, which is an Alpine CDA 9886. So let's get started. To begin with, you have to pull this piece of trim around the bezel here. It goes all the way around in the pocket. If yours is double DIN or no bezel, it still works the same. Just kind of get your fingers in behind it here. Carefully, you don't want to break it. Just kind of, boy, this one's tight. Get your fingers in behind here. I'm going to use both hands for this. Be right back. Oh, sorry about that. That's my bad. First, you want to pull this trim ring off your stereo if it's aftermarket, which of course this one is. See, just pull on it, snaps right off. It's got little snaps all the way around it there. You can see them. So now we can pull this piece that contains the pocket. So get your fingers behind it. It's going to take two hands. This one's being stubborn. Be right back. Okay, now this piece is out. As you can see, it's held in by 4 clips. There's one there, one in that corner, one over on that corner, one down here. And while you have this thing out, if your pocket happens to have a little play in it or rattle or loose, it's a good time to tighten up these 2 screws right here. That holds your pocket onto your bezel. Okay, so now that's out, we're going to go in here and pull these 4 screws. You can see you got one here, one down here, one down here, and one up here. That one's not original. I've lost one at some point. But you pull them 4 screws. You want to move your shifter back into second or reverse or somewhere like that, so you have more room to pull this head unit. And I'll also want to get a rag and lay down here so I don't scratch up my console when I pull my stereo out. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, now my radio is out. If I was going to replace this radio, I would go ahead and unplug the wiring from the back, which I've got an antenna plug, preamp plugs, and the harness to the radio. And if you're reinstalling a radio in this car and you're looking for the ground wire on the radio harness, you're not going to find it. It does not have one. If you're installing an aftermarket radio in this car, you will have to go up under the dash and find a bolt back in there, which I know you can't see it very well. It's pretty dark. And tie your ground wire to, because there is not one in the car harness. And these 2 screws here will remove your brackets off your head unit, or if you've got a dual DIN, you'll use these 2 down here also. But now my bezel isn't set up for a dual DIN. It's a single hole in a pocket. But anyways, I'm not going to completely pull this stereo because all I intend on doing is installing this auxiliary cable. So I'll go ahead and install that, get that ran, and we'll show you how to put it back in. Okay, as you can see, there's my new auxiliary cord plugged into the radio. So now we'll put it back in the dash and route my wire. Okay, now I'm putting my stereo back in the dash, and there's slots that these brackets go into. You'll know it when it hooks, which this one's hooked now. So what I'll do now is 4 screws, just like I took out. Okay, now my auxiliary cord. I'm probably going to do something neater with this at some point, but for right now I've just got it coming out the bottom of the console. I'm thinking maybe at some point I'll buy a panel mount plug and maybe drill a hole in the bottom of this little change pocket that I don't use, so that whenever I want to use a phone I can just take my plug her in there. I don't know, I haven't decided how I'm going to finalize this, but for right now this part of it's done. So I'll shove the 4 screws back in. I'll be right back. Okay, now my 4 screws are back in, as you can see. Be careful you don't drop these when you're installing them or removing them, because if you drop them you will never see them again. As you can see, I have a couple mismatched here. This stereo's been in and out of this car several times over the years, but I've owned it since 1999. It's been through a few stereos. But anyways, now we'll put our pocket back in, which goes in same way it come out. Just line it up, give it a shove, make sure it's in all the way around. That's in. Easy peasy. Now, I'll trim from our radio. We'll shove it back on. Goes on just like it come off. Put it back on here. There's that. Now for the fun part, trying to figure out how to turn the auxiliary input on this stereo. I don't have an instruction manual for it. It didn't come with one. It came with a CD-ROM. I don't feel like digging it out, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Anyways, thanks for watching. More to come later. Hope this video helps somebody.